everybody, it's Modern Refugee. Today I kind of want to talk to you about water and kind of what my water plan is and what my water preps are. I think there's some ideas here that some folks can maybe get some information from, so I kind of want to share this with everybody. And my preps, as far as water goes, kind of revolve around this guy here. This is a mini Sawyer. I'm sure anybody that's watched any preparedness channels has seen these around. These are very reasonable. I think these are about the best $20 that you can spend on a prep item. I think everybody should have a couple at their house, maybe one in their vehicle, one in their pack. But I'm going to kind of show you a couple different ways here I use these, because I've actually been experimenting with these for a while, and I got some ideas here that I think are kind of informative, so I kind of want to share them. The first is my Platypus Bag here, and this Platypus Bag is just your basic water bladder, but this end right here, kind of see that, is compatible with the threads on the mini Sawyer. So with this hose right here, I fitted it onto this particular mini Sawyer, and I can fill this guy up in the field with whatever water that I can find, and I can screw this onto this bag, just like so, and I tied a little piece of paracord on here, and this can be hung up. And as this is hung up, I can use the bite valve here. I can pinch this bite valve open so water can come out when I need it, whether I'm trekking with this. If I can put this in my pack, but if I get to like my base camp or whatever, I can hang this up, and I can use it to fill my cup up to have coffee or whatever. And I also recommend, if you're going to carry something like this with you in your pack, you have some type of metal cup or some type of container or something, even a cut-off water bottle, something that you can fill this water bladder up, because just sticking this down into the lake or the river doesn't work very well. So always have a little container where you can fill this up. Plus, you can take your container and you can kind of pick the better water. So if there's a bunch of junk in your water, you can kind of skim the good stuff off the top and pour it in here. But anyway, this is kind of my in the field setup here that I like to take with me. And of course, without any water in this weighs almost nothing. So you can wrap this up, keep it in your pack, and then the first ditch that you run across, you can stop and pick up some water, so you don't have to carry that extra weight with you. The next thing is Clorox Bleach. I keep Clorox Bleach, a couple gallons of it at the house, so I can purify water with bleach if I have to. And what I do is I take, see them right there, eyedroppers, and with just a simple rubber band, just kind of rubber band those right onto this bleach, because as everybody knows, 8 to 10 drops of bleach for a gallon of water to purify it. So now I got my measuring device and my bleach all wrapped up, and then once a year this bleach gets rotated to the laundry room, and I go get another gallon and I just replace it and keep these eyedroppers right on here. I think it's a good setup as far as having an easy and convenient way to administer bleach to water if I need to. Now, the next thing is these guys right here, 2-liter bottles. And I've read a lot of pros and cons before I started doing this as far as 2-liter bottles and storing water. First I'm going to say is I have 7-gallon containers and I have 5-gallon containers. I've gotten away from the big barrel thing. I actually had a barrel fail on me, so I'm kind of not the 30-gallon barrel guy anymore. They're too hard to move. If something goes wrong with them, you get a leak in them, you get a crack in them, something goes sideways, you got a big old mess on your hands. So I've kind of switched to smaller, like I said, 7-gallon, and these guys right here for storing my water. I'm going to kind of tell you why I think these are good. First of all, they're kind of tough. You're not going to just break these. These are pretty durable. I kind of like the green ones for storing water. It's another way to keep light from getting in here. Of course, I store these in a cool, dry, dark place anyway, but I still like them in because of that, because they block a little bit of light. But here's the other thing about these. These mini Sawyers fit right on these. So even though I can store water in these, I can also filter my water right on this same container right here. So this is kind of why I like using these 2-liter bottles. First of all, they're inexpensive. You know, you buy 2-liter soda pop, all you do is you save these. And what I do to get these ready for using them for my water preps is I'll wash these in hot soap and water. And after I'm done washing and rinse them in hot soap and water, I got another, take the other side of the sink, and I put in, fill that full of hot water, and I put in half a cup of bleach, and I dunk these in there, swish them around, and I rinse them out again. And then I actually fill these with the water from my house. And I actually have a water filter on my house too, so it's filtered water that goes into these. So there's kind of multiple different, I guess, layers of protection to store water in these to keep that water good. But then too, you know, this is a 2-liter container. 2 liters is about a half a gallon, so you would need about 4 drops to 5 drops of bleach in one of these to purify this if you didn't have anything other than bleach and you weren't sure that this water was safe. And it's the same thing with the mini Sawyer, because I kind of plan on, because I kind of store, I don't rotate this water much, so I kind of keep these items around so I can filter this water, because if SHTF did happen, I'm probably not going to take any chances with water. Any water that I got stored, I'm either going to treat with bleach, I'm going to run through a mini Sawyer, or I'm going to boil, or one combination of those together just to make sure that it's safe. So that's kind of why I like 2-liter bottles. Plus, you know, you have the whole 1 gallon per person per day thing. 2 of these is about what one person needs for a day, so you can kind of look at what you got, and you got a rough estimate about how much water you have on hand for an event. Another thing too is these would be tradable, because you can just take these and say, you know, something bad happens, you can, you know, give one of these to your neighbor, or you can swap something that your neighbor has for a couple things of water that they can use for whatever. So that's kind of why I like 2-liter bottles for that. Another thing that's on here, I don't know if anybody can, I don't know if you can see that on there, but kind of right there, but it's kind of the printed expiration date for this soda that comes on here. So the first time you fill these bottles, you've already got a date on this bottle. So, you know, if you buy this and you still got a month expiration date on it, and all this soda in here gets drank, you wash, clean this bottle, fill it up, you kind of already got a starting mark on here. You don't, the first time around, you don't even have to write a date on these. You can just kind of go by that date. So I kind of wanted to show that to you, just another simplistic way of keeping a general idea when you put this water up. Another thing with these Sawyers is back flushing. When you use these, you have to back flush them when you're done. And what I do, if I'm out in the field, you know, I don't carry the syringe with me that comes with this. I'm going to show you that in a second. But what I do is I'll run water through and fill my hose up, so that's all filtered water, and all I'll do is unscrew this from the bladder, and I'll take my bite valve and I'll bite it, and then I'll back blow air through this hose, and then that blows the water that was just filtered back through this to back flush it. And then I got a basic back flushing on this Sawyer out in the field. And then when I get back, I can take this, fill this with clean water, put a couple drops of bleach in it, or wash it with detergent, whatever that I have. Get this good and clean, fill this up with clean water. Then the same thing. I can put more water through my filter into my hose, take my bite valve to blow into it, and back flush that water right out. And I can do that 3 or 4 times then before I put this up and let this dry in between field uses. Another thing too is, you know, if you don't have a bladder, you can use one of these 2-liter bottles to screw this attachment right onto it. So then, even if you don't have a water bladder, you still have this filter and this hose set up. The first time you run across a 2-liter bottle, you actually got a container that you can store water in. You could throw this in a pack. It's going to take up more room in a pack than one of those bladders are, and it's not going to collapse down when you use it like the bladder does, but you could still use this in a pinch if you had to. And then I kind of keep this guy at home. All the mini Sawyers come with one of these back flushing syringes, and same thing too when I'm done using my mini Sawyers, and I can use this at kind of get to the house or the base camp, and I can flush the mini Sawyers out. So anyway, that's kind of how I do water. Like I said, I've got a couple different ways that I store it. I've got my 5 and 7 gallon containers, but then I also have these 2-liter bottles that I collect and save and use them for filtering water. And also, you're not going to have a lot of money into this. You're going to have $20 into your mini Sawyer. If you get one of these bladders, you might have another $20 into it. These hoses, you can actually buy these replacement hoses, so you can fit them on fairly easy without any issues. And like I said, 2-liter bottles are definitely inexpensive, so there's no reason why you can't use them. I've had people, of course, I've read and I've had a couple people say to me, about storing them in that plastic. But I've actually opened these that were a year and a half old. I haven't had any off tastes with any of these. Haven't had any real issues with storing water in these. I think it's probably better than anything that you would just find raw somewhere without treating it, most definitely. And like I said, the Clorox Bleach, cheap. You can get a gallon of that fairly reasonable. Those eyedroppers are like 99 cents for 2 of them. So for $30, $40, you can get yourself a water plant started without a lot of extras. Oh, one other thing too is the heaviness of large containers of water. So if you have people that are, older people that are frail, or younger folks that can't, handle heavy lifting, 5-7 gallons of water is heavy, and these 2-liter bottles are not heavy. So, younger folks, people that can't lift a lot, have back problems or stuff, something like this is a little bit easier for them to use. But that's kind of how I do it. Like I said, I just wash them in hot soap and water, and then rinse them out with a bleach rinse afterward, and that's kind of how I clean them. And then I fill them with filtered water and cap them up. I do the same thing, of course, with the caps. The caps I'm going to wash and put in the bleach rinse as well. But I just kind of wanted to share these ideas with everybody. I think that there's some information in here that might help some folks out, so I just kind of wanted to do this water video here. But anyway, hope you guys are getting some information and some entertainment here out of my videos. Just kind of like to share some of these things. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers out there. I got some new subscribers that I've gotten from a couple of shout outs and stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope you're getting something from my videos, but kind of just sharing the way I prep. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. You guys have a great night.